Today's tarot hack, we're going to be doing a recap of what we've covered so far in the first numerology through the 8 numerology. In the 1 numerology, we faced basically the raw material or a core essence of ourself that is representative of the beginning of a journey. The journey hasn't actually started yet, but this is basically the idea to go on one. Usually when we get to then the 2 numerology, that's where we have basically someone in our life that is either working with us in a positive way, or they're working antagonistically, sort of against us, but the second person is necessary. This external influence is necessary so that it triggers us to basically make a decision and do something. And then in the 3 numerology, that's where we have our imperfect beginning of the journey. So we set off and we start working towards what we're working on. We know it's a long-term commitment the moment that we've left our comfort zone. However, we feel a sense of optimism or a sense of strength in basically not despite the pain, but almost because of the pain that it brings up in us, and our recognition that we're able to handle that. Now, once we get to the 4 numerology, we have some sort of structure. We've kind of gotten used to things, especially within the classic view of the world. We're within boundaries still of what we expect and what we know, but we know things are about to change pretty significantly. So the 5 is going to be our first sort of trial and tribulation. That's where difficulty befalls us in some way. Usually it's from an external force, but we have to be able to recognize that difficulty and recognize our ability to transcend it in order to get to the 6 numerology, which is where we have abundance. So if we can be the same us that we really are, even while we're in a difficult situation, if we can be the same us that we really are, even when faced with these different challenges, then we are able to ascend to that 6 numerology and that concept of abundance. So once we have the abundance, of course, sometimes it will feel like I'm either in a 5 or a 6. I'm either in a good place in my life right now, or I'm in a really depressive place right now. And that's one of the illusions that comes up, is that we have to sort of switch to be one or the other. And you might say that true happiness and true abundance comes when you're able to be sad, even when you're also still happy, to be able to be both. And there's no limitation on that. Now, once we get to the 7 numerology, this is going to be where we then have to risk the abundance that we just gained. And there's part of us that has to reface that initial fear that we had and the fear that the trial and tribulation is coming back. But once we get to the 8, that's because we've taken some sort of risk in the 7. We trusted ourselves. Sometimes we make a mistake, but we reach the 8 when we know who we are. That's where we then create our secondary structure and a new formation of how we view ourselves in the world around us.